I was repairing the garage light for my friend's mom. Then she locked the door and said, I need. He had come over to help his friend Mark, whose mom, Mrs. Delaney, had called earlier asking for help with the garage light. Simple enough, he thought. Just a flickering bulb. Nothing complicated. Almost got it, Alex muttered, climbing the last rung. He held the new bulb in his hand and squinted at the old one. Why do these things always burn out at the worst time? Alex, Mrs. Delaney's voice came from inside the house, gentle but firm. Don't forget it's not just the bulb. The wiring in that corner is old. Be careful. Alex nodded, though she couldn't see him. Got it, he replied, focusing back on the old fixture. He unscrewed the bulb slowly, feeling the old one loosen in his hand. The ladder creaked slightly, but he balanced carefully. He had always been a bit cautious, especially when working with electricity, but something about tonight felt different. The first clue came when he heard the garage door click behind him. He didn't think much of it at first, assuming Mrs. Delaney had closed it to keep the wind out. But a second later he heard the turn of a lock. His heart skipped a beat. Mrs. Delaney, Alex called. Did you lock the door? There was a pause. Then softly she said, Yes, I need to talk to you, Alex. It's important. Alex froze on the ladder, the bulb in his hand. Okay. What about? She stepped closer, her face shadowed in the dim light. Something you wouldn't believe if I told you. I need your help, please. It's urgent. Alex climbed down slowly, keeping his eyes on her. Her tone was serious, almost desperate. He had known Mrs. Delaney for years. She was kind, quiet, and always polite. This wasn't her usual calm self. All right, he said cautiously. But with what? Mrs. Delaney hesitated, then reached behind a workbench. From beneath a tarp, she pulled out a small, metallic orb no bigger than a grapefruit. It pulsed with a soft blue light, almost like it had a heartbeat of its own. Alex blinked. Is that a light? He asked, unsure what he was looking at. No, she said, shaking her head. It's not from here, not from Earth. Alex stepped back instinctively. I don't understand. Mrs. Delaney held it carefully, almost as if it were fragile. I found it years ago. I thought it was a strange artifact at first, but it's alive in a way. It can think. It can communicate, and now it needs your help. Alex swallowed hard. My help, why me? Because, she said, her eyes steady, humans, you have a way of thinking that it recognizes. It chooses someone clever, creative, adaptable, and it has chosen you, Alex. The words sounded like something out of a science fiction movie, yet there was a sincerity in her voice that made him pause. He had always liked puzzles, gadgets, and problems that needed clever solutions. This felt like the biggest puzzle of all. Alex glanced at the orb. Its light pulsed gently, and he felt an almost magnetic pull toward it. The room seemed quieter now, the flickering light of the garage no longer the main focus. He could feel the weight of the moment. Something extraordinary was happening. Okay, he said finally, trying to sound braver than he felt. Let's see what it wants. Mrs. Delaney nodded, relief flashing across her face. Good, but be careful. It's not dangerous in a physical sense, but it can overwhelm someone who doesn't think carefully. It responds to intelligence, creativity, empathy. You have to be smart, Alex, and patient. Alex nodded again. He crouched down to get a closer look. The orb pulsed faster as he extended his hand. The moment his fingers brushed its smooth surface, a holographic projection burst into the air above it. Stars, planets, lines connecting them like a web across the galaxy. Alex gasped. The light from the orb reflected in his eyes, showing him constellations he had never seen. And then in the middle of it all, a small blinking icon, a tiny ship trapped near a glowing wormhole. What is this? Alex whispered. It's a problem, Mrs. Delaney said, her voice calm but serious. Not one humans usually deal with. But it's something the orb believes only you can solve. The ship, it's in danger. And the creatures on board, they are waiting for someone clever enough to help. Alex's mind raced. You mean aliens? Yes, she said softly. And they trust humans. Or at least, they trust that some humans can think in ways no one else can. That's why the orb chose you. Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement. This was bigger than any science project he had ever done. Bigger than any video game, any puzzle, any challenge. His hands trembled slightly as he reached for the orb again. "Do you understand the scale?" Mrs. Delaney asked. "This isn't just curiosity, it's responsibility. The orb won't harm you, but it will test you. And it will demand everything you've got: logic, creativity, courage." Alex nodded slowly. I think I understand." The orb pulsed brighter now and the holographic map shifted. New symbols appeared, puzzles, shapes, and sequences he had never seen before. It seemed to respond to his gaze, changing as he thought about it. "You'll need to solve these," Mrs. Delaney said. "Each one teaches you something, prepares you. It's not just a puzzle, it's a way to learn, to communicate with the ship." Alex took a deep breath. He had always liked challenges, and he had always believed that humans could figure out anything with enough effort and creativity. But this was beyond anything he had ever imagined. He studied the first puzzle, a series of glowing lines connecting dots across the projected star map. As he traced them with his fingers, the lines shifted, forming new patterns. His heart raced. This was like nothing he had ever seen, but at the same time it felt intuitive. Hours passed, or maybe minutes, Alex couldn't tell. Time seemed different here, focused and sharp. He solved the first sequence, then the second. The orb pulsed in approval each time, and with every puzzle he felt his mind stretch in ways it never had before. Mrs. Delaney watched silently, proud and anxious. She had seen other humans try and fail, unable to match the orb's expectations. But Alex, he had the curiosity, the patience, the cleverness. He had what it took. Finally, as he completed another intricate pattern, the orb emitted a soft hum. A new projection appeared, a miniature version of the trapped ship, showing the wormhole in all its swirling, dangerous beauty. Alex felt a thrill of excitement and a twinge of fear. He was no longer just repairing a garage light. He was part of something much bigger, something extraordinary. Mrs. Delaney placed a hand on his shoulder. "Tomorrow, we start the real work," she said. "Tonight, rest. You'll need all your strength and cleverness. The orb has chosen you, Alex. The universe is waiting." Alex nodded, staring at the glowing orb. He had no idea what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing: his life had changed forever. And as the garage light flickered for the last time, he felt a spark of something bigger than fear or excitement. It was hope, human ingenuity, the power to solve impossible problems. The adventure had only just begun. The next morning, sunlight streamed weakly through the garage windows. Dust motes floated in the air, illuminated by the pale light. Alex rubbed his eyes and stretched. His hands still tingled slightly from touching the orb last night. He could still feel its warmth, like it had a pulse, a life of its own. Mrs. Delaney was already awake, moving quietly around the garage. She had brought a notebook, a few pencils, and some old tools. She didn't speak much, but her presence was steady and calm, like an anchor in the strange situation Alex found himself in. "Good morning," she said softly. "Ready to start?" Alex nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. "I guess so. I still don't really understand what this is or what I'm supposed to do exactly." "That's okay," she said. "You'll learn, the orb will guide you, but first you need to understand it. Watch closely." Alex crouched near the orb. It rested on a small pedestal Mrs. Delaney had prepared. Its blue light pulsed slowly, as if breathing. He reached out a hand, and the moment his fingers brushed its surface, the orb flared brighter. A holographic projection appeared above it, sharper than yesterday. Stars, planets, and strange symbols filled the air. This time, however, the orb displayed something new. A series of three-dimensional shapes rotating slowly like alien blueprints. Lines connected points across the shapes, and a soft, melodic hum vibrated through the air. Alex's eyes widened. "This is amazing." "It is," Mrs. Delaney said, "but it's also complex. The orb wants you to solve problems. Each shape is a puzzle, and each puzzle teaches you something important. Be patient, don't rush." Alex nodded and focused. The first shape looked like a crystal with many faces. Each face had small, glowing dots, some connected by lines. He touched one and the dots rearranged themselves. Slowly, patterns emerged. Hours passed. Alex's mind stretched and twisted in ways it never had before. He traced lines, connected dots, rotated shapes, and experimented with sequences. Sometimes the patterns rearranged themselves unexpectedly. Each time he solved a small part, the orb pulsed in approval, sending a gentle warmth through his fingers. By midday, Alex's stomach reminded him he hadn't eaten. He glanced at Mrs. Delaney, who smiled and handed him a sandwich. "Take a break," she said. "You'll need your energy. The real tests are coming." Alex ate slowly, but his mind never left the orb. He thought about the small, blinking icon he had seen yesterday, the ship trapped near the wormhole. The idea that the orb had chosen him to help a distant alien crew still made his heart race. "Why me?" he asked suddenly. "Why not someone else?" "Someone smarter, older, or better at this," Mrs. Delaney thought for a moment. "It's not about being the smartest, it's about how you think. Humans can see connections others can't. You're creative, patient, curious. The orb recognized that. It trusts you can solve problems differently than it can." Alex swallowed. It was hard to believe. "So, I'm the one who can help them." "Yes," she said simply. "For now, yes, but it will challenge you, and it will demand more than you expect." Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of pride and nervousness. He returned to the orb, tracing the lines of the first crystal shape again. This time, a new pattern appeared, a small holographic display of the alien ship itself. It hovered in midair, surrounded by the swirling colors of the wormhole. Alex's mind raced. "I think I understand what it wants," he said aloud. "It wants me to figure out how to guide the ship safely out of the wormhole." Mrs. Delaney nodded. "Exactly. But the orb doesn't just want answers. It wants understanding. You'll need to learn its logic, its language, and even its way of thinking. That's why it starts with puzzles. They teach you to think like it does." Alex focused on the holographic ship. Tiny controls and panels appeared on the projection, each with symbols he had never seen before. He reached out, touching one panel, and instantly a new puzzle appeared. Small dots moved across a grid, and he had to connect them in a specific sequence to stabilize a part of the ship. It was tricky. Alex tried several combinations before he found the right one. Each success made the orb pulse brighter, sending a gentle warmth that spread through his body. He smiled. "Okay, I think I'm getting it." The day passed quickly. Alex solved puzzle after puzzle, each one more complex than the last. Sometimes the orb would change the patterns mid-solution, forcing him to adapt. Other times, it would present ethical questions, like choosing which systems to prioritize if he couldn't save them all. Through it all, Alex relied on what made humans unique: creativity, intuition, and careful reasoning. He learned to experiment, to notice subtle patterns, and to think in ways the orb itself hadn't predicted. Every success strengthened his confidence. By late afternoon, he leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. The orb pulsed softly as if acknowledging his progress. Mrs. Delaney smiled at him. "You're doing very well, the orb is impressed." Alex laughed softly. "Impressed by me?" "Yes," she said. "It recognizes your cleverness. Humans can be unpredictable. That's what makes you valuable." Alex thought about the alien ship again. Somehow, his work in this small garage had become part of a much larger story, one that reached across galaxies. He felt proud and terrified at the same time. He was no longer just a kid fixing a light bulb. He was part of a mission that could affect hundreds of lives, maybe even more. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the orb changed again. A soft blue beam shot upward and a new projection appeared. A set of instructions, almost like a map, showing a path through the wormhole's swirling colors. It was beautiful, terrifying, and mesmerizing. Alex stared at it in awe. I can do this," he whispered. "I think I can actually help them." Mrs. Delaney placed a hand on his shoulder. "And you will. But remember, this is only the beginning. The orb will continue to test you, to push your mind and your problem-solving skills. You'll need courage, patience, and ingenuity. Just like last night, it will trust you to rise to the challenge." Alex nodded, determination settling in. He felt something shift inside him. The fear was still there, yes, but it was accompanied by a sense of purpose. He had always believed humans could figure things out, no matter how strange or difficult. And now, for the first time, he was seeing it on a cosmic scale. "Tomorrow," Mrs. Delaney said softly, "you'll learn to communicate with the ship directly. You'll see its systems, its crew, and you'll guide them step by step. The orb has chosen you, Alex. You are ready for the next stage." Alex stared at the glowing orb, its gentle pulses filling the garage with light. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also the thrill of possibility. For the first time in his life, he realized that ordinary humans, with ordinary tools and ordinary intelligence, could do extraordinary things. And as night fell, the garage light flickered for the last time, not because of a broken bulb, but because something much bigger had begun. Alex lay awake that night, thinking about stars, alien ships, and puzzles that would challenge his mind like never before. He couldn't sleep completely. The excitement, the mystery, and the sense of adventure kept him alert. But even as he drifted into a light doze, he felt a deep certainty. He was ready. The orb had chosen him. And the universe was about to test him in ways he could never have imagined. The morning sun barely lit the garage when Alex climbed the ladder of his imagination once more, metaphorically at least. The orb sat on its pedestal, pulsing with a soft blue light that seemed to breathe. Alex had barely slept, his mind spinning with puzzles, star maps, and the alien ship trapped in the wormhole. Today, Mrs. Delaney said, would be different. "You'll communicate directly with the ship today," she said, placing a hand on the orb. "The puzzles were preparation. Now you'll need to apply what you've learned." Alex swallowed, a knot of excitement and fear tightening in his stomach. "Directly?" he asked. "Like talk to them?" "Yes," Mrs. Delaney replied. "In a way, the orb will translate your thoughts and actions. You'll guide them step by step. It's delicate work, focus, patience, cleverness." Alex nodded, heart pounding. He placed his hands lightly on the orb. Immediately, the garage faded. The walls disappeared. Stars stretched infinitely in every direction. The alien ship floated ahead, smaller than he expected, yet enormous in its detail. Its hull shimmered with colors Alex had never seen, and soft lights blinked along its surface. A soft hum echoed in his mind like a gentle voice without words. It was the ship, waiting. Alex took a deep breath. He had solved puzzles before, but nothing like this. He had to guide a real ship with real lives at stake. He focused on his training, observing patterns, noticing details, predicting movements. Slowly, a series of holographic controls appeared in front of him. Panels lit up with alien symbols. Lines moved across the displays, connecting points in a pattern. It looked complex, beyond anything he could read. Yet, deep down, Alex knew humans were capable of recognizing patterns, even when alien. He leaned in, his fingers hovering over the projections. The first challenge appeared immediately. One panel showed a swirling cluster near the wormhole's edge, representing a navigation hazard. Alex traced the lines with his fingers, connecting nodes in a sequence that felt right. The ship responded. Slowly, it shifted its course, stabilizing its position. Alex grinned. "Okay, that's one problem solved." Mrs. Delaney's voice echoed in his mind. "Good, but it will get more complex. The orb tests not only your logic but your adaptability. Expect the unexpected." As if on cue, the next panel flashed. A network of lines appeared, moving in unpredictable ways. Some intersected dangerously. Alex frowned, studying the patterns. He realized the orb wasn't asking for a single solution. It was asking him to understand the system, to think ahead, anticipate movement, and improvise. He remembered the lessons from yesterday: patience, creativity, flexibility. Slowly he began connecting the nodes, experimenting with sequences until the lines formed a stable path. The ship adjusted again, its glowing hull following his guidance. "Good, Mrs. Delaney said softly. "Now the ethical choices begin." Alex blinked. "Ethical choices?" "Yes," she said. "The ship has limited resources. You'll need to decide which systems to prioritize. You can't fix everything at once. The orb wants to see your judgment." Alex's brow furrowed. The first panel highlighted the life support system, critical for the crew's survival. The second showed navigation controls, important for avoiding collisions. The third indicated energy distribution, which could affect both. Each choice mattered. He paused. "Life support first," he said firmly. "Without it, nothing else matters." The orb pulsed brightly, almost approvingly. Alex adjusted the connections, redirecting energy to stabilize life support. The other panels shimmered, waiting for his next decision. He prioritized navigation, then carefully balanced energy distribution to avoid overloading any system. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time felt different here. Alex worked steadily, guided by intuition and logic. The orb responded to his touch, adjusting the ship according to his plans. Slowly, the swirling chaos of the wormhole became manageable. The ship's movements were smoother, more precise. Alex felt a thrill of satisfaction. "It's working," he whispered. "I'm actually guiding them." Then a new challenge appeared. The orb projected a puzzle unlike any before, a sequence of symbols representing unknown alien instructions. They moved in patterns, sometimes repeating, sometimes shifting unpredictably. Alex stared, feeling a pang of doubt. Could he solve this? He closed his eyes for a moment, recalling the lessons Mrs. Delaney had taught him. Humans think differently. We can see connections that aren't obvious. We can experiment, fail, and try again. Slowly, he opened his eyes and began tracing the sequence, testing each connection carefully. The symbols responded to his touch. Some corrected themselves, some rearranged into new patterns. Alex realized the puzzle wasn't about memorizing. It was about understanding, adapting, and applying his reasoning. Piece by piece, he solved it. The orb glowed brighter and the ship's systems hummed in harmony. Alex leaned back, breathing heavily. "I did it," he said. "Yes," Mrs. Delaney replied softly. "And you did it your way. That's why the orb chose humans. You think in ways it cannot predict. You adapt, you improvise, you solve problems creatively." Alex felt a swell of pride. He had always believed humans were clever, capable, and resourceful. Now he saw it on a scale he had never imagined. Not just fixing a bulb or solving a puzzle, this was cosmic. The lives of alien beings, thousands of miles away, depended on his ingenuity. A new projection appeared. The wormhole shimmered more violently, indicating instability. Alex studied it carefully. He realized that the ship's path had to be recalculated in real time, adjusting for shifting gravitational forces. It was a complex problem, but he remembered the lessons of trial and error, observation, and persistence. Slowly, carefully, he traced a new path. The ship began to follow it, weaving through the wormhole's swirling colors. His heart raced. Each correct adjustment brought the vessel closer to safety. Each mistake could have consequences, but Alex stayed calm, focused, and deliberate. Hours or moments later, the ship finally emerged from the wormhole. The stars around it seemed to brighten, welcoming it back to safe space. Alex's heart leapt. He had done it. He had guided them through danger using nothing but his mind, intuition, and careful reasoning. Mrs. Delaney's voice was warm in his mind. "You see, Alex, this is what makes humans extraordinary. You face challenges that others cannot, and you solve them in ways that no one expects. The universe has tested you, and you rose to it. Alex smiled, feeling both relief and exhilaration. I did it, he said again. I really did it. The orb pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. It projected a small holographic figure of the alien crew. Their eyes glowed gently as they looked at him. Alex felt a connection, a silent communication of gratitude. Even though he could not understand their language fully, he felt it, an understanding beyond words. They trust you, Mrs. Delaney said, and now the universe has too. Alex stared at the glowing orb, at the stars, at the ship he had just guided to safety. He realized something important. Humans are clever, adaptable, and creative. Our minds can solve problems that machines, or even alien intelligence, cannot anticipate. That was why he had been chosen. That was why he had succeeded. The garage returned around him slowly. The walls, the ceiling, the faint smell of oil and dust, all of it came back. The orb sat silently, its blue light pulsing gently as if acknowledging his achievement. Alex leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced a challenge unlike any other, solved it with his human ingenuity, and made a difference on a cosmic scale. He felt a deep sense of pride, of accomplishment, of potential. Humans could do amazing things. He had just proven it. Mrs. Delaney smiled. Rest now, Alex. Tomorrow the orb will test you further. You'll learn to anticipate more complex problems, to think beyond the obvious. But for today, you've earned this moment. Alex nodded, staring at the orb. His heart was still racing, his mind still spinning. He had crossed the line from ordinary human to something extraordinary. And tomorrow, the adventure would continue. He looked at the stars, projected faintly by the orb in his mind's eye, and thought about the alien crew waiting somewhere across the galaxy. He knew one thing for certain: humans were capable of amazing things. And tonight, in a quiet garage on Earth, Alex had proven it. Alex woke with a start, sunlight spilling into the garage. The orb rested on its pedestal, pulsing softly as if it had never stopped. Yesterday's achievement, guiding the alien ship through the wormhole, still made his heart race. The memory of the swirling colors, the alien ship responding to his touch, and the sense of connection with an entirely new intelligence lingered in his mind. Mrs. Delaney was already there, organizing some small gadgets on a nearby bench. "Good morning," she said quietly. "Are you ready for today?" Alex nodded, his mind buzzing with anticipation. "I think so, but what happens next?" "Next, you'll go further," she said, her voice calm but full of meaning. "Yesterday, you guided them remotely. Today, you'll prepare to interact more directly with their systems. The orb will allow you to explore more, but you'll need focus, creativity, and adaptability." "Are you ready for that?" Alex took a deep breath. "I'm ready." He placed his hands on the orb. It pulsed warmly, almost like a heartbeat. Instantly, the garage disappeared, replaced by a field of stars. The alien ship floated in front of him, larger than yesterday, its lights blinking softly. Alex felt a thrill of recognition. He had helped guide it through the wormhole, and now he would step even closer into its world. A soft hum filled his mind, the orb communicating silently. Symbols and lines appeared in front of him, forming a complex web of controls and panels. Alex realized that this time, the orb was not only testing his logic but teaching him new ways to interact. Each symbol represented systems, energy flows, and mechanisms he had never imagined. He focused on the first panel. A holographic display showed the ship's internal environment, life support, energy distribution, navigation, and crew status. Tiny shapes moved inside the ship, representing the crew members. Alex could see their movements, though he could not yet understand their language. Mrs. Delaney's voice echoed softly in his mind. "Observe carefully. Humans have a unique ability to perceive patterns and adapt quickly. That's why you were chosen. The orb will guide you, but you must think beyond the obvious. Improvise, experiment, Trust your instincts. Alex nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He reached out and touched the first panel. Lines of light extended from his fingers, connecting with systems inside the ship. As he traced the connections, the panels responded, showing energy flowing to life support systems. A soft glow spread across the crew shapes, indicating stability. "Good," Mrs. Delaney said. "Now navigation." Alex studied the holographic representation of the wormhole ahead. It swirled unpredictably, a chaotic mix of colors and energy. He traced a path through the safe corridors, adjusting for gravitational forces and shifts he could barely predict. The ship responded immediately, stabilizing along the new trajectory. Hours, or perhaps moments, passed. The orb projected new puzzles, each more complex than the last. Some were purely logical, requiring Alex to notice patterns and sequences. Others were practical, asking him to balance energy, resources, and system priorities. Occasionally, ethical decisions appeared, which systems to prioritize if he could not stabilize everything at once. Alex felt his mind stretching, his creativity pushed to its limits. He experimented, adapted, and learned with each success. The orb responded to his ingenuity, pulsing brighter as he found solutions. It was exhausting, exhilarating, and deeply satisfying. Suddenly, a new projection appeared, a small doorway inside the alien ship. It glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with the orb. Alex leaned closer, curious. The orb seemed to encourage him to explore. Mrs. Delaney's voice echoed softly. "The orb is inviting you to go further, not physically but mentally. You can interact with the ship more directly, learn its systems, and communicate with the crew in new ways. Are you ready for that step?" Alex took a deep breath. "Yes, I'm ready." As soon as he touched the doorway projection, the garage melted away completely. He felt a strange sensation, like floating, weightless but aware. The orb guided him, and suddenly he was inside the alien ship, not physically but as a holographic projection of himself. He could see the corridors, the control panels, and the crew members moving about. It was unlike anything he had ever imagined. He reached out to a panel, and the controls responded to his touch. He could adjust energy flows, redirect power, and stabilize systems directly. The crew moved with confidence, following his adjustments as if they understood his intentions. Alex realized something important. The orb was not only testing him but teaching him how to think in ways that transcended human limitations. He had to learn alien logic while applying his own creativity. He had to balance his intuition with careful observation. A sudden challenge appeared. A swirling anomaly in the ship's energy core threatened to destabilize the vessel. Alex studied the holographic display carefully. The lines of energy were erratic, shifting unpredictably. He tried one adjustment, then another. Each attempt slightly improved the flow, but the anomaly persisted. He paused, thinking. Humans could improvise. Humans could experiment, notice subtle patterns, and adapt quickly. Alex adjusted his approach, tracing the energy lines differently, predicting shifts before they occurred. Slowly, the anomaly stabilized. The ship hummed softly and the orb pulsed in approval. Alex exhaled, feeling a mix of relief and triumph. He had solved a problem that the alien systems themselves could not anticipate. Once again, human ingenuity had made a difference on a cosmic scale. Mrs. Delaney's voice echoed warmly. "You see, Alex, that is why humans are extraordinary. Your mind can adapt, create, and solve problems in ways that no machine or even alien intelligence might predict. That is why you were chosen." Alex smiled, feeling a surge of pride. "I understand now," he said. "Humans, we can handle the unexpected. We can improvise. We can solve problems others cannot." The orb pulsed gently, and a new projection appeared, a distant planet marked with a soft glow. Alex realized it was a destination, a location where the ship would eventually arrive once stabilized. He traced a path, calculating energy distribution, navigation, and system balance. Each adjustment had consequences, and Alex found satisfaction in making careful, thoughtful choices. As the day progressed, Alex continued to explore the ship. He discovered new systems, communication nodes, energy cores, environmental controls. The orb guided him subtly, allowing him to interact, learn, and experiment. He began to understand the alien logic while applying his own human ingenuity. By evening, he had achieved something remarkable. The ship was fully stabilized. Its path was safe. The crew moved confidently within their environment. Alex had not only guided them through danger but had also learned to communicate, improvise, and think beyond the obvious. He floated in the projection of the ship, marveling at the connection he felt with an intelligence so different from his own. For the first time, he realized that humans could be extraordinary not just because of their cleverness, but because of their adaptability, creativity, and empathy. The orb pulsed softly, as if acknowledging his understanding. Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. He had learned, adapted, and succeeded. He had taken an ordinary human mind and used it to solve problems on a cosmic scale. Suddenly, the projection shifted. A new doorway appeared inside the ship, brighter and more inviting than the last. Alex understood immediately. The next step awaited. This was no longer just about puzzles or navigation. This was about exploration, learning, and deeper connection. Mrs. Delaney's voice echoed once more. "Tomorrow, Alex, you will begin to understand the ship itself. You will explore its systems more fully, communicate with the crew more directly, and prepare for challenges that go beyond anything you have imagined. But for today, rest. You have done extraordinarily well." Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and exhaustion. The orb pulsed gently, its light filling the space around him. He felt a sense of wonder, of possibility, of pride. Humans could rise to extraordinary challenges. They could adapt, learn, and solve problems no one else could. And tonight, in the quiet garage on Earth, Alex had stepped closer to becoming more than ordinary. He had stepped into the vast, intricate world of the cosmos, and he had proven once again that humans were capable of amazing things. The adventure was far from over. But Alex felt ready. For the first time, he truly understood that the universe was full of challenges, and humans had the ingenuity, creativity, and heart to meet them. And with that thought, he finally allowed himself to rest, dreaming of stars, alien ships, and puzzles waiting to be solved. Alex woke to the soft pulsing of the orb. He had slept fitfully, dreaming of swirling stars, the alien ship, and countless puzzles. Now, as sunlight filtered through the garage windows, he knew today would be the most important step yet. Mrs. Delaney was already awake, moving quietly around the garage. "Are you ready, Alex?" she asked, her voice calm but full of anticipation. Alex nodded. "I think so. I've learned a lot, but I'm still nervous." "That's natural," she said. "Even the most clever humans feel nervous. But the orb has chosen you because it trusts your mind. Your creativity, your adaptability, your empathy, they make you perfect for this final step." Alex took a deep breath and placed his hands on the orb. Instantly, the garage disappeared, replaced by the familiar field of stars. The alien ship floated ahead, shining in the cosmic light. Today, Alex would not only stabilize it but interact fully with the crew and guide them to safety. Panels appeared before him, each representing systems, crew status, energy flows, and communication nodes. He realized this was the culmination of everything he had learned, the puzzles, the training, the previous guidance. Now he had to integrate it all. He focused on the first panel: life support, navigation, energy distribution. Everything needed careful adjustment. His fingers moved confidently over the holographic symbols, connecting nodes, stabilizing flows, balancing resources. The ship responded immediately, moving more smoothly than ever. Then came the communication panel. Tiny glowing symbols represented the alien crew. Alex hesitated for a moment. Yesterday, he had guided the ship, but now he had the chance to interact more personally with its inhabitants. His mind reached out, connecting through the orb, projecting understanding, patience, and intent. The aliens responded. Glowing shapes shifted, patterns moving as if in acknowledgement. Alex could sense their curiosity, their relief, and their trust. It was subtle, unspoken, yet powerful. He smiled, realizing humans could communicate not just with words, but through empathy, logic, and shared purpose. Hours passed as Alex worked. The ship's path through the wormhole's edge had to be precise, adjusting for every fluctuation in energy. Each system required attention, each decision careful. Alex applied everything he had learned: observation, experimentation, improvisation, and foresight. Suddenly, a complex anomaly appeared, a swirling pattern in the energy core. It threatened to destabilize the ship, and Alex felt a moment of tension. He could see the crew moving cautiously around the anomaly, relying on his guidance. He took a deep breath, recalling every puzzle, every adjustment, every lesson. Humans could solve problems in ways no machine or even alien intelligence might predict. With calm focus, he traced the energy lines, adjusted the flows, and redirected power. Slowly, the anomaly stabilized. The ship hummed in harmony, and the orb pulsed brightly. Alex exhaled, a mixture of relief and triumph washing over him. He had done it. He had guided the ship, stabilized the systems, and connected with the crew in a way that transcended language. Human ingenuity, creativity, and empathy had made the impossible possible. Mrs. Delaney's voice echoed softly in his mind. You see, Alex, that is why humans are extraordinary. You think differently, you adapt, you improvise, you solve problems that others cannot. Today, you've proven it on a cosmic scale. Alex smiled. I think I understand now. Humans really can do amazing things. A final projection appeared. The distant planet, glowing faintly, was now within safe reach. Alex traced the final path, adjusting energy, navigation, and crew coordination. The ship moved steadily, its lights shimmering as it approached the planet. The orb pulsed warmly, almost like a heartbeat, acknowledging his success. Alex felt a sense of awe. The ship was safe, the crew secure, and the universe had recognized human capability in a tangible, extraordinary way. Then, a gentle glow surrounded the ship. The crew's symbols shifted, moving in patterns that Alex understood as gratitude. He realized something profound. Humans could reach beyond their own world, connecting with life forms across the galaxy, not through power or technology alone, but through thought, creativity, and empathy. Thank you, he whispered, knowing the aliens could feel the meaning even if they could not understand his words directly. The orb pulsed in response, affirming the connection. Mrs. Delaney's voice spoke softly again. You've done more than guide them, Alex. You've shown that humans can rise to challenges that no one else could. Your mind, your heart, and your spirit made the difference. And now, it is time to return home. Alex nodded, a small pang of sadness in his chest. He had grown attached to the ship, to the experience, and to the sense that humans could do more than they imagined. Yet, he knew she was right. The real world awaited, and he would carry this knowledge with him forever. He placed his hands on the orb once more. The stars faded, the alien ship disappeared, and the garage returned around him. The light flickered gently, as if acknowledging his return. Everything looked ordinary, but now everything felt extraordinary. Mrs. Delaney smiled. Welcome back, she said warmly. Do you understand now? Ordinary humans can achieve extraordinary things. Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride and wonder. Yes, I understand. Humans, we can handle challenges, solve problems, and connect with the universe in ways no one ever expected. The orb pulsed softly, a final acknowledgement of his journey. Alex could feel its warmth, its approval, and its silent promise. The adventure was not over, but he was ready for whatever came next. He stepped back, letting go of the orb. It sat quietly, glowing gently, as if resting after a long journey. Alex realized that he had changed. He was no longer just the kid fixing a garage light. He was someone who had risen to a cosmic challenge, who had proven human ingenuity, creativity, and heart. Mrs. Delaney placed a hand on his shoulder. Remember, Alex, the universe may be vast and mysterious, but humans are clever, adaptable, and resilient. Never forget that, Alex smiled. I won't. He looked at the quiet garage, at the tools, the workbench, the faint smell of oil and dust. Everything seemed ordinary, but he knew the truth. The universe was bigger than he had ever imagined, and humans had the power to meet its challenges. As he left the garage, he felt a spark of excitement for the future. There would be puzzles, challenges, and mysteries waiting, not just on Earth but across the stars. And he knew that humans, with their curiosity, creativity, and ingenuity, could rise to meet them all. For the first time, Alex felt a deep sense of certainty. Humans were extraordinary, capable of solving the impossible, and ready for anything the universe might send their way. And in the quiet of the garage, the orb pulsed one last time, its blue light gentle and steady. A reminder of the journey, the challenges, and the human mind that had conquered them. Alex smiled, stepping into the sunlight. The adventure had changed him. Humans had proven themselves, and the universe would never be the same.